Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be making our first GUI or GUI, Graphical User Interface application. So this is quite a large leap from console stuff, scanner stuff, all the way jumping to graphic stuff. So I'm making this video, but I am assuming that you have already played around with a lot of the code, and the level you are up to is you can do a lot of console stuff, right? You should have played around with the code I've given you, fooled around with it a lot, created a semi-complicated project for yourself. You should have already had your own project that you have completed. So let's get into it. So we're going to start off by deleting this Java class. And I actually don't have a specific project in mind, but I am just going to be creating the GUI. So, let's actually create a new package. And I know we haven't done packages beforehand, but I just want to do one just because it's better for organization. I'm going to do com.workin.justjava.GUI tutorial. Let's create a new Java class, and let's call this launcher. This launcher method is where our main method is going to be, and because it's the launcher, it's the only thing that's, the main method is the only thing that's going to be inside of it. So let's do public static void, let's zoom in, public static void main string args, and then that's it. We have our main method. Now let's create another Java class, and we can call this the main, or let's call this the application. Let's create some spaces, and we can go into the main method, and we can type in application equals to a new application, right? And in our application, let's zoom in, let's create a constructor, and this is all stuff that we've done before. So public application, and in here let's pass in a string, so parameters, which is something we've done before, and we'll call this name, and then we'll do the int, the width, and the height. Now you might be wondering, why are we doing this width and the height stuff? Well, this is actually information for the display, for the actual display. So over here, let's create some private integers. So we'll do private int width height, and then we can do private string name, and here we can say this dot name equals to name, this dot width equals to width, this dot height equals to height, and then over here we're gonna have to pass in our parameters. So the name is just going to be Java window. You can put it to whatever you want. The width, let's just set it to 200. The height, or you know what, let's set it to 800 by 500. Okay, so I'm not sure why it's saying we have a problem, which is not right. So now let's create a new package. We'll call this display. In this package, we're only going to have one Java class called display. Just zoom in a little, and we'll have a constructor called public display, and we'll pass in a string, which is the name, the width, and the height. You can set these to to final, and we can say this dot name equals to name, this dot height, sorry, this dot width equals to width, this dot height equals to height. Let's go over here to our application. We can set this to final. Same thing here. Set this to final. And over here, above, we can create a new variable. So let's delete that space. Or not a variable, a new object. We can say private display. We'll just call this display. And actually, we can call it window. Actually, no. Let's just keep it at display. Keep in mind that I am just doing this just as I go along. I don't have a set plan for this, but we have our display. And this is the display method, so let's do a private void create display. And then over here, we can call create display. So we aren't going to be working with swing components, unfortunately. I do have experience with swing components. However, I am not very good at it, and the last time I used the swing library was a very, very long time ago. It was last summer, so I don't remember anything about it. So, I would suggest, if you're a little confused, or if you want to do swing components, work with, what's it called? Windows Editor? No. It was Swing Editor, something like that. But essentially, just search for Java JFrame Swing Tutorials. This episode, we're going to be working with AWT. So, over here, let's call init, or actually, no, sorry, let's finish the display class. So in the display class, we're going to want to put in a private JFrame. Just call this frame. Private canvas. Just call this canvas. And let's go over here. And I'm going to pause the video and try to remember what exactly I need to put here. My apologies, I was being an idiot. Why is it called name? It should be called title right here. So this dot title. Change this to title. Should be title. This should also be title. Anything that's called name should be title. There we go. So, display class should still be doing this. Alright, so in here we're just gonna want to initialize our JFrame object, this object right here, by doing frame equals to a new JFrame, and then we just want to pass in the title right there. And now we want to do frame.setSize, and it's going to ask for either a dimension or a width and a height. Let's just do width and a height. And now we're going to want to pass in the default close operation. So we can do frame.set default close operation. We can do Windows constants.exit on close. Now you might be wondering, what is this line? Don't have to worry too much about it, but this essentially means that when we exit out of the application, for example, if we press this red X button on the top right of the window, it will completely terminate the program. Next, we're going to want to set it to see if it's resizable, so we can say frame.set resizable. Let's just set it to false for now. And frame.set location relative to. This is where the window is going to appear when you first load up the project, or sorry, the application. So when you first load up the application, where is it going to be on the screen? Is it going to be on the top right, left, top right, bottom left? Let's put it to null. When you put it to null, then it just centers it. then frame.set visible to true. Now by default, the frame is not visible. We've created it, but we haven't actually set it to visible, so we can't actually see it when we run the application. That's what this set visible to true is. Now, if we run this, oh, my bad. If we run this, nothing happens because I'm being an idiot. We have to actually call that display class. So let's just set that up. Let's just create a public void, and we can say start, and then in the launcher we can say application.start. In here we're going to say display equals to a new display, and we'll pass in the title, the width, the height, and now when we run it, you can see it creates a new window, and it's called Java window. We cannot resize it, but if we go into the display class and set resizable to true, and we run it, you will see that we can resize it to be bigger. So you can see. Congratulations, you just made your first window. So, what's next? Well, let's actually add a canvas. I decided that I'm going to be making this a longer series. We're going to be creating, like, we're going to draw images to this canvas. So we're not going to have these mini projects anymore. We are going to start to create a longer series where we are able to draw multiple stuff to the screen. So that's all for this video. We've created the window, but in the next video we'll be adding the canvas. And actually, before we end, let's just do something quick. Let's create a getter, so we can do public JFrame get frame, and we'll return our frame. So that is all for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.